A lot of questions about the book snap, and in hindsight, I should have recorded a video for you, so that's my fault. I apologize. So with the book snap, this is your final assessment, and you should have fun with this. So if you open up your class's presentation that is on Google Classroom, you'll see this slide, which helps you choose your passage. So we're looking at things that have been discussed or talked about. We're using air quotes around discussed and talked about while reading this book. These are all things that I've asked you to do while looking at the text. So choose one passage from the last section of the reading. So that would be from last week's reading assignment. And you want to look for something that has rhetorical features. So that's where the structure of the writing, you guys all know about rhetoric. So there's parallelism, there's repetition, all that type of stuff that we talked about so much in the beginning of the year. Or there are literary features going on there. If there's a flashback, if there are metaphors, if there are similes, if there's really good imagery in it, you can choose that passage. The other option you have is nuance, where ideas and meanings are implied instead of stated explicitly. So this is where you're looking at the text and what the author's message or the character's message or the narrator's message are things that we have to glean from it, right? They're not these things that are directly stated to us. So if you think about the chart that you had to do where with the things they carried, and he talked about, I lost my train of thought because my kids walked in the house, where I had you fill out the truth, what the actual truth is, and you had to come up with what that thematic idea is. So this idea of being in these traumatic situations can impact a person's future or something to that effect. That would be where your ideas are implied instead of explicitly stated. You can also look at incidents or ideas related to themes or insights that convey answers to essential questions. That's a lot to handle there. So with this, we're talking about this idea of why people tell stories. That's the big question that keeps coming up in this. So if you find a passage that talks about why people tell stories, you can discuss that passage. The meaning of a chapter title, if you paid attention to chapter titles, why they're called what they are. Why is Ghost Soldiers called Ghost Soldiers? That's a good chapter to think about. Or nightlife, and what's find the passage where the author actually talks about nightlife and what that really means, because it's ironic, right? It doesn't mean what we think it means or what it means in our everyday language. Something that references storytelling or truth. So where our character or narrators actually discuss these stories that they tell and why they tell them. So on your slide, you're going to put these things. So you're going to choose an empty slide. So there are 30 of them. You want to make trouble finding an empty one. Make sure your name goes on it visibly. Otherwise, I won't be able to give you a grade for it. And then there is a video, and it is right here where it says in the video. So you will click on it, and it will take you to the video. I would watch it. It's kind of a little weird because it's geared kind of towards teachers. So just ignore that part of it. And then it actually gives you the actual, here's how you make this thing. So you're going to add the book cover. So go to Google, grab a picture of it. You need a picture of the passage in there as well. So you can take a picture with your phone. You can take one from the internet, whatever it is, but the passage that you're going to be talking about. You need to create your own Bitmoji as well. I realize that Bitmoji looks nothing like me, but that's okay. And then you want to have an emotion that goes along with your Bitmoji. So how are you feeling when you read it? And then you need to provide the analysis of the passage. Remember that your analysis typically is about twice as long as the passage that you chose. So when you put your passage on your screen or on your slide, you can actually mark out what little paragraph, a couple sentences you really want us to focus in on. And then you can be creative with your colors and your fonts, your Bitmojis, your emoticons, all that good stuff. So you want to provide insight and analysis to the passage, and it should be visually appealing. So has his already done on here. And so you can see that he hits all the points that he's supposed to hit. He's got this marked out over here for which passage that he's looking at. He has the title of the book here. He has actually multiple analyses going on here, which is really good. So remember, your analysis does not, it is not a plot summary, okay? It's telling me, if you go back to this, what's happening in it. Tell me about the rhetorical feature. What's the effect of using parallelism in this scene? What does it do? What does the imagery do for the scene? Tell me what I'm supposed to, what I'm supposed to imply from this passage. You've told me what the direct words are. Okay, so what? Remember, we always talked about that. So what component. How does this relate to the themes? How does it relate to the idea of why people tell stories? The chapter title, right? Explain the chapter title. And then, what does it have to do with storytelling or truth? What are we supposed to understand about it? Okay. So all you're doing when you submit is just putting your slide on your on this PowerPoint. If you want to click turn in because it makes you feel better, by all means, go ahead and click turn in. You're not putting this anywhere else. You are only putting it here. You're not making a copy of the slideshow, like I said in my directions. You are just literally choosing your slide and filling it out. So some of you, like in my first hour, that's the only one I have open right now, you're missing some things. Like Jack, you need to make sure that you go in and you add your Bitmoji. And you could be coming back to it and working on it some more, but just kind of pay attention to that. You can choose your background. You can see people have different colors on there. So it's, you can be a little bit creative with it, but it's kind of a fun thing. My seniors had a really, that sounds terrible to say, they had a great time with this. But as far as final assessments go for a book, it was a rather fun assignment for them to do. Okay, hope this helps. If not, go ahead and send me an email or a remind, and I will get back to you. Okay, bye guys.